Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Essence of You podcast, brought to you by your host, Stephanie Schechter. On today's episode, we are going to speak all things self love. Yes, it's something that I feel gets overlooked. The importance of self love, radical self love, not just your quick, oh yeah, I love myself, but do you really anchor in and feel that within your body? Like truly being able to just sit with yourself and be with yourself without anyone else around. Like, when's the last time you spent a week alone without seeing anybody, without meeting up with friends, without numbing out on Instagram or Netflix or whatever your go-to number is, so to speak? Just simply being a human being. In this day and age, we get lost in the doing that it becomes our identity. And if we're not doing something all the time, we feel lost. Oh, gotta be busy. But are you comfortable not being busy? What is the driving force to always being busy? It's same with goals, right? Like we all have goals that are ever changing, ever evolving. Very important. Don't underestimate the importance of also writing them down. And when you write them down, is self-love ever in that? Or is that a given for you? It might be a given for some. Some might not think twice about it. But I want to give a little backstory of all this. For the longest time, my entire life, I did not know what self-love was. When I was 6, I was molested. And of course, instantly put it on the back burner and forgot about it, buried it. And I had always just chased doing and striving for monetary gains, or, I even did fitness competitions, started a clothing line, Steph's Best, you name it. I just was busy doing any and everything. For those of y'all that don't know, I have a line of nut-free, plant-based superfood spreads. It's basically like healthy cookie dough in a jar. I created it from essentially not listening to the cues. And over time, when you suppress things for so long, your body will get sick and do any and everything it can to get your attention in whatever way, shape, form, it speaks to you. So I had dealt in the past with thyroid and hormone imbalances, caused me to go back on, what it means to be truly eating clean, no preservatives, seed oils, artificial sweeteners, flavors, dyes, all the things. And I was already a clean eater, but this was to the extreme. It was actually the SIBO diet I followed. So a lot of my food items were taken away that I was used to eating so often. And so I created this spread that I could both enjoy and that was good for my body. And it became popular among family and friends. So I decided to, make it available to the masses. So back to tying this all in. Fast forward to 30, I did a medicine journey, and actually I was 31. And I did a medicine journey and deep dove because I knew that something was under the surface that really needed to get addressed. And I remembered in detail exactly what and when it happened. And that started the, unfolding, the shadow work, I did somatic therapy, really dove into my practices and of meditation and shadow work and full acceptance. And we were getting there over time. It took some time to unwind that. And, I don't say this to, gain sympathy from anyone. It's just what happened. It is my journey. It was a part of my journey. And so still working on the self-love, and a year or so goes by, and then at that point I was living in California, and then I moved back to Austin, Texas, where I am from, and was guided to not re-sign a lease and to box all my stuff up and just go on this journey quest to Europe. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of unknowns here. And as we know, the magic happens in the unknown and in the uncertainty in life. If you can be comfortable with the uncertainty, that's golden key number one. It's ever changing. So I pack up and go for 13 weeks and just allow myself to be guided. I had zero plan, bought a one-way ticket to Paris with only the first 3 nights booked, full surrender. A couple things on my list and places that I wanted to see, but nothing was set in stone. I just trusted the timing of the now, which is beautiful. And it all just unfolded so beautifully. I met everyone I was supposed to meet. It was unmatched. Just, it had its challenges. And at the end of the trip, and just my main takeaway, besides an amazing experience and a lifetime of memories, is self-love. And it just touches me so deeply that I had been that far removed from myself and being in that presence. Like, I've spent a lot of time alone prior to this trip even. I've always been someone who's fine, being alone. But this trip just allowed me to meet myself in a place I had never met myself before. All of the parts, every single part, every part that has ever, acted out to try and protect me, every part, I just engulfed it all and got to thank every piece of it. Radical self-love is what keeps coming to mind as I'm even talking. And it is my mission, my purpose, my drive to bring that to as many people as possible, because once you have that base, that foundation fully in your own essence, your presence, everything else unfolds so beautifully and perfectly. And there's really no downside, because you always go back to self and how am I feeling? How am I doing? And if overwhelm hits you, if anxiety hits you, if fear hits you, you get to sit back in and remember, like, you're comfortable enough in yourself to know that all the love you need and care and comfort and support comes from self. And it's another person almost that you get to sit with it, but it's always there. It's stemming from us. It's source. It's God. It's the energy and essence of who we are. And I am here, and this is a huge reason why I'm starting this podcast. It's just to help bring you back home, the essence of you. And if this can help one person, my God, that is all I can ask for. So how can you sit with yourself a little bit more today and learn who you are? I often ask people, tell me about yourself. And they'll start telling me what they do. And I'm like, I didn't ask what you do. I asked you about you. Who are you? A lot of people, they don't know how to answer that. They kind of like stutter, and they're not familiar. And if you're listening to this today, I want you to think about this and, maybe even write it down now. Like, who am I? Make a couple of points. Just sit with yourself and see who you are. Like, do I love myself? What does that mean? What does that look like? How do I love myself? Because how I love myself, I show others how to love me. Anyways, thank you for listening, and I love you all so much, and I'm sending you a transmission of energy and just love and light, and your so-called, I'll do air quotes, burdens are not real. They're a distraction from what truly is, which is you at your core. You're always there. You have infinite amount of love because you come from the Creator, which you are. That is who you are. Anyways, people, thank you so, so much for listening today, and love yourself a little harder. Much love, fam.